Hi, cows.
There may be money in these cars. One rare mint condition car can go for $300,000.
Trying to find those, I mean, it's almost like a scavenger hunt for a lot of people.
So if you find some old trading cards, a scavenger hunt in your closet, you might as well check before you start using these clothes.
Man, I just washed this thing.
I want to talk to you about faith. And I make a point of saying faith as opposed to religion.
Okay.
I gather you went on a silent retreat to the monastery.
I did. I sort of felt like I reached the point of complete isolation, and I wondered, okay, now, how can I possibly be really to the desert and spend many days? It was actually a pretty harrowing experience. It was in the Chamo Valley in the middle of winter, and it was just very cold. And there were 7 ceremonies a day, and I walked to the chapel. The first one started at 4 a.m. I had to follow the moonlight, which illuminated the red path to the chapel.
You guys are going to get a kick out of this. I call this Jeepster Commander Road. Okay?
Well, there are creatures out at 4 in the morning, you know? They're all going back to their dens, so you kind of encounter a buck with huge antlers. Or
Oh, wow, that's cool.
And so, you know, it was a beautiful time for me because I was able to listen. And the silent retreat, you're not able to speak, so I had a lot of answers about death and about heaven.
Oh my gosh,
Hope that wasn't the worst of the trail. Count the Jeeps, okay?
That's not what heaven is. We have no idea what it is, but I have faith that it's a place that exists, and I...
Let's see if you got the correct answer.
Faith has been my greatest consolation in losing the people that I love. It's what I turn to, and it's what allows me to come back to life.
I'd like to say 4.
And I found that I think
Yes, there's 4 Jeeps. 3 Jeeps, the Commandos, and a Jeep Road Corvette. Jeep Graveyard.
I certainly didn't write these songs.
What's that, like 3 Commandos or something? Yeah. Nobody throws stuff away.
I wrote them because I needed to.
I wouldn't mind getting my hands on that pickup truck.
well, that's
for a little bit. After this, you're not going to see it for the rest of the day.
Distancing and vaccines. Central Florida.
Everyone shifted out of 4-low, right?
Says guidance from the Centers for Disease Control.
Yeah, you got to shift out 4-low if you didn't do that.
Reports on Universal and Walt Disney World.
Both Universal Orlando and Disney World reopened last summer requiring temperature checks for guests. Universal Orlando passes and no virus temperature checks as guests enter the park. Disney will begin phasing out the checks for cast members beginning today, May 8th, and for guests May 16th. Officials earlier this week, Republican Governor Ron DeSantis signed an executive order lifting local rules requiring mask wearing and social distancing. Universal has also dropped social distancing to 3 feet, while Disney remains at 6 feet. For NPR News, I'm Talia Blake.
Representatives Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz found a goal
to compete in sports leagues that match their gender identity, and we don't have transgender girls dominating sports leagues.
You're a medical professional, you're a scientist, and yet you say that certain questions when it comes to trans identity do more harm than good, like research into what determines transgender identity. What's the harm?
There's this long history of trying to understand what makes someone transgender, and the research has led down some kind of awful, bizarre paths. There was one theory that maybe transgender girls are actually birth-assigned boys who are just very, very cute. People treat them as more feminine, and that makes them identify as transgender. Researchers did this study where they took pictures of 7-year-olds who had, at the time, they used this diagnosis gender identity disorder, but they were maybe transgender girls. They took pictures of those kids and took pictures of cisgender boys and showed the pictures to a bunch of college students and asked them, like, how cute and handsome and pretty are these kids? A really disturbing question to ask college students about 7-year-olds. And they found, I think, like on average, college students were slightly more likely to say these boys were pretty cute. They're like, aha, maybe we figured out what makes someone transgender. They've also done all of these studies to see if maybe it's the mom's fault.
It's always the mom's fault.
Psychiatry has a long history of saying it's the mom's fault. And so they did these studies and kind of suggested that
it's mom's fault unless you've discredited Freud, which you should have done years ago.
Sensitive, and they must be bad moms, and that's how these children become transgender. And they kind of downplayed the other possibility that if you are a mom of a transgender child, where society's rejecting your child, you might be more interpersonally sensitive with people around you.
Yeah, there was another study that said if the parents hadn't been so lenient, if they'd taken that Barbie away from their son, they could have prevented all of this. They needed to just crack down.
Yeah.
And his resolutions are pretty resistant to.
Can you give me an example?
Harry Benjamin strongly believed that no one is male or female, that human beings are naturally a mix of male and female. That was the dominant medical explanation for gay and lesbians, and also for what they call transvestites. They were just a woman's soul and a man's body, and vice versa. So Harry Benjamin goes on to found in the 50s and 60s the basic outlines of the medical model that we still have today.
How did you come across evidence about trans kids historically?
As I'm pouring through those documents, reading about people like Benjamin, I started to see these little things Harry Benjamin will mention talking to a 16-year-old. And I was like, a 16-year-old? What? I'd never heard of any of them transitioning. They went back to the medical archives of the big clinics in the U.S. that saw a lot of trans people. Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore
Take a pee break here if anybody needs to use the restroom.
is the 19-teens, even before there's any categories to describe them. Places
Sounds good to me.
California, Los Angeles, Harry Benjamin's clinic in New York City, and plenty of others. In one of the most remarkable for sexological research in Bloomington, Indiana, I've got boxes upon boxes of Harry Benjamin's correspondence over his whole career. Tens of thousands of letters. I've been reading them for days. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing these letters from trans kids writing handwritten letters to Harry Benjamin in the 1960s and 1970s. And a lot of the letters follow the format. They say, hi, my name is whatever. I'm a trans...
Okay, we're back in Vermont.
And that's the shadow. But we don't to see kids celebrated, taken seriously for being trans.
You guys reading the news about the Belgian farmer that moved the border of France?
Our society is the thing that needs to be adjusted, not trans kids.
No. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It was in the way of his tractor, so he moved it. Har, har, har.
Trouble to the targeted Stonewall. And Sylvia and Marcia helped to do the response that night, and then for the next 6 nights. And then from that decided to create an entire rights movement. Marcia and I, we became the Raiders. Trans people have been targets of violence and extreme violence for time immemorial. As I've mentioned to people all the time, Marsha P. Johnson was murdered in the 1990s, and we still don't know how.
The role of black trans people is often abbreviated in the historical record, but a more complete history reveals a more...
Yeah, there's a little space between the vehicles, too. I'm assuming she's going to get the hell out of the middle of the road. Nothing like making a scene for the neighbors. So just tell her to pick her up and the last person gets through. It's really flying today.
Wow.
It's beautiful. You want to take a picture of it when I'm going up the short ready so you can walk back. You'll love the sign that's up here. Let me know when the last person is over the bridge. Hey, Brandon, I wonder if that was like a log skidder road or something to the left. It almost looks like it goes up there.
Some of those chainsaw cuts are only a few years old.
Yeah, it looks like it goes up here a little bit.
Definitely.
Very scenic route. Yes, it is cool out there. If you look to your left, you're going to see a sail hole. Must have been like a little cabin for the summertime or something, I'm thinking. Got a nice view on the right here. I dropped the marker here, Rich. Well, it's weird because the road turns and I'm like following it, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, that's the road we went last time. Yes, it's weird how it looks on the road though on the map. It's like it's pulled up. Everyone can get in the floor here. Yeah, make sure you get in full drive before you hit in because it's muddy.
Shit.
For the winter time. Yeah, don't tell that lady that. Yeah, there was just no talking to her. Everybody off the road? Yep. trim these back a little bit, but that'll just invite people that don't know what they're doing down here. So it's just the first, like, 10 feet. Kind of funny, small house, big barn. So just so everybody know, this is the other end of Stage Road. Leave your office at home, Rich? Right now, I don't have mine. Loppers, Rich, loppers. Oh, I said I have them. I just wasn't going to cut it because I don't want to invite people coming down this road that
What's he watching for?
So we're coming up to the snowmobile bridge here, right, Rich? Everyone keep your distance, and once you get over it, just keep moving up the hill. This bridge is plenty strong enough. It'll move a little bit, but it's strong. Beaver Dam. Yeah, that's where the old road was. They moved the road over. Who did, the beavers? They forced the people to move the road. Cool bypass, though. That's a nice big beaver dam.
Holy shit.
Now come around the corner, you might actually catch the front of me. If you look back to where the beaver pond is.
She got out though. There's a little hair. Alright, try that again, man.
But you can cut it in the middle now. Yeah, that's...
We got time in the cut. Yeah, keep pressure on it, just in reverse. One more. Just let it idle in reverse.
Yeah. I have wedges as well for if you need them. Let me bump it.
Fred, Mike, are you good there, back there?
Alright, you're on the roof. There's nobody behind us. Hold on, though. No body behind him, but come on, man. Come up here. They're pulling a tree out of the way. Alright, come this way. Alright, now back up over there.
Yep.
You guys need a hand?
We don't need it much, but might as well. Perfect.
You gotta be shitting me. Hey Rich, I'm gonna need to tug backwards.
Okay, we're back on the original road.
Hey, Rich. Hold up when you can. I want a spotter to just go through this little spot for me.
He said he wants a spotter, Rich.
Yeah, I'm getting one. Yeah, this bar up